Anang and Obolo traditional rulers allege state attorney generals scuttled out of court settlement agreement. State Commandant NSCDC promises robust partnership with NTA Uyo. Plus, Nigerian Institution of Safety Engineers ends 8th annual general meeting with a dinner and conferment of fellowship to deserving members. Hello, good morning, and thanks for joining us. To remember that this broadcast is coming to you live on our Star Times channel 103 and our social media platforms on Facebook and YouTube. We begin with the legislature, where Senate has passed for second reading the 2023 supplementary appropriation bill of 2.1 trillion naira. Of that amount, 18 billion is for statutory transfer, 992.8 billion is for recurrent expenditure non-debt, while 1.1 trillion naira is for contributions to development fund. Leading the debate on the bill, Senate Majority Leader Opeyemi Bamidele explains that the budgeted amounts will be channeled to provision of additional palliatives to cushion economic hardship, provide funding for wage award to civil servants, cash transfer to the most vulnerable, as well as investment on infrastructure like roads and expenditure for defense and security. Other areas to be funded are provisions of takeoff grants for newly created ministries and the Students' Loans Board. The supplementary budget also makes available funds for the conduct of elections in Bayelsa, Imo, among others. The budget is expected to further drive the renewed hope agenda for positive impact on citizens. The bill, according to the lawmakers, should be given speedy passage in view of the critical areas it is intended to address. A motion by the Attorney General has allegedly stalled the chances for an out-of-court settlement between the aggrieved traditional rulers and Akwa Ibom State government. Counsel to the traditional rulers of Oro, Anang, and Obolo made this known during an interactive meeting with members of the press in Abak local government area. Kelvin Samuel has details.
Addressing Newsme shortly after the court proceedings on Monday, October 30th, counsel to the affected traditional rulers of Oro, Anang, and Obolo, Barrister Jumbo Udom, says the effort of his team through a motion for leave to explore peaceful and out-of-court settlement, as was agreed during a meeting between the governor and the paramount rulers, was scuttled by a counter motion by the State Attorney General, who insists the case must be completely withdrawn.
We filed a motion before the court, the State High Court, seeking for leave, that is to say, permission for the paramount rulers to engage with the state government, particularly the governor, to explore avenues for settlement. So in court this morning, to the dismay and surprise of the paramount rulers, the plaintiffs in the matter, the State Attorney General filed a counter affidavit and vehemently opposed the application seeking for leave for settlement.
This case, according to the counsel to the plaintiff, has a limited time of 3 months, after which it will be impossible to appeal it, out of which more than 1 month has exhausted, leaving them with no much options.
This law, there is no rotation. The President General is the Akwa Ibom in perpetuity. And most disagreeable to the other paramount rulers that are in court is that even if the Akwa Ibom joins his ancestors, there is no provision that the Vice President 1 can now transmute to become the President General. So the paramount rulers will have to wait till another Akwa Ibom is selected. amongst the Ibibio ethnic group who will now come and still occupy. That is the bone of contention.
If this law comes into effect, the state is stratified into majority, semi-majority, minor majority, and the inconsequentials.
The traditional rulers are in court to seek amendment of Section 47 and 48 of the newly amended Traditional Rulers Law of Akwa Ibom State, which they believe contravenes Section 42(1) and 2 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. In Uyo, Kevin Samuel, NTA News.
Away from legal matters now, the Nigerian Institution of Safety Engineers has ended her 8th Safety Engineering International Conference Annual General Meeting and Fellowship conferment with a dinner and award night. The 3-day event took place at Villa Hilton Hotel, Uyo. Wumedimo has details.
With the mandate to promote safety engineering competence and practice in engineering projects of the Nigerian economy to prevent losses, the Nigerian Institution of Safety Engineers, a division of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, held its 8th Fellowship Conferment Dinner and Award Night in Uyo. This night was part of activities of a 3-day international conference annual general meeting. The national chairman, Akaniene Ekong, in his speech, admitted that with the conference, the engineers will be able to develop technical service for safety protection, ensuring that safety is first and always in all engineering practices with quality output.
Because of the past 2 years, we've been able to develop some specific technical guidances, which are the NI Safety Approved Code of Practice for Construction Safety, the NI Safety Approved Code of Practice for Process Safety specific to hazard and operability studies.
The newly conferred fellows of the institution say the conferment will afford them opportunity to be committed to entrenching a culture of safety in engineered systems and projects.
We should continue the good work we are doing in designing a code of practice in all fields, both in process safety, in food safety, in also public safety.
This year's event, there was a lot of focus on things that should be done. The need to involve safety engineers right from the stage of design of all this and also to the implementation.
I've learned a lot of new development in the oil and gas industry in terms of safety. I've learned some best practices, mostly in the issue of hazard and loss prevention. And this is going to equip me, and then it's also going to be an advantage and then add value to my current job position.
We try as much as possible that from the design stage of any project, in terms of modifications, even projects and modifications, whether both greenfield and brownfield, the one with safety engineers involved.
High point of the event was the conferment of the new fellows of the Nigerian Institution of Safety Engineers and presentation of certificates and awards to participants and awardees.
I pledge to uphold at all times the bylaws of the Nigerian Institution of Safety Engineers.
In Uyo, Uwemedimo Samson, NTA News.
The Commandant of Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, Akwa Ibom State Command, Eluwade Eluyemi, expressed his readiness to partner the Nigerian Television Authority, Uyo, to protect its facilities. He revealed this while receiving the General Manager of NT Uyo, Mrs. Alice Ugbe, on a courtesy visit in his office. John Paul Alimona reports.
The General Manager of NTU, Alice Ugbe, who was in company of some members of her management, says the visit was necessary following the Director General's directive for NTA stations across the country to partner NSCDC state offices to safeguard the property of the organization. While enumerating areas of possible partnership, the General Manager informed her host that the station runs a live program, Safety and Security Watch, every Friday, which showcases the activities of security agencies and invites the NSCDC boss in the state to appear on the program.
I worked in Benin, I worked in Lagos, and we've had very good relationship with NSCDC, and I hope it will still be the same thing. NTA has for several years now played her role as a watchdog of the society, highlighting your activities aimed at ridding the society of criminal activities and criminal elements in our state, as well as checking acts of sabotage that I know that NSCDC is doing very well.
Responding, the state commandant of NSCDC, Eluwade Eluwayemi, expressed gratitude to the general manager of NTU for the visit and assured her that he will send his men to safeguard NTU at no cost, noting that security is everyone's business. He appealed to his visitor to give publicity to their forthcoming security summit on the 7th of November, meant to enlighten the public about the roles of private security guards in internal security.
See them at churches, on uniform, without arms. So we are the one coordinating them, directing them, supervising their activities here in Nigeria, all over the place. So, and they are so useful to us because they are the first a contact with anything that's happening in our environment. Yes. I appreciate your coming, and we are ready to partner with you. We are ready to do whatever thing you ask us to do. So far, it's within our own power, and you are free to come at any time. As I've told you, security is not all my business. Even your own environment too. Definitely. You can inform us. Come and see you. I saw some people. You inform us. Before you know it, we are there.
Some members of the management team of both agencies gave insights on the areas of mutual beneficial relationship. In Uyo, John Paul Alumona, NTA News.
On health matters now, sustained advocacy and creating awareness about breast cancer will ensure that women are brought up to speed on innovations and treatment options for breast cancer. Lidon Iba reports that this is the view of experts as the world rounds off this year's Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Breast cancer, which is one of the most common and deadly ailments with the feminine gender, has for several years been a source of concern to governments and organizations. This is not unconnected with the fact that it affects not just women alone, but has ripple effects transcending the entire society. In combating this deadly yet treatable disease, if discovered in good time, the international community dedicates the entire month of October to create awareness and to draw attention to early detection and treatment.
We can't really say there are causes of breast cancer, but we can say there are predisposing factors to breast cancer. The modifiable factors and the non-modifiable factors. The non-modifiable factors are those factors that you cannot change. You can't change the fact that you're a female. You can't change the fact that you have breasts. You can't change the fact that maybe you have a genetic factor that predisposes you to breast cancer. They call it BRCA1 and 2. Those genes, you can't change the fact that you have it. You can change your lifestyle. You can change stop smoking. You can change don't take too much alcohol. You can change your sedentary way of life. You can change your way of eating a lot of artificial food. Those are the modifiable factors.
An interaction with some women in Uyo shows that while some have a fair knowledge of what the disease entails, others are truly ignorant.
From time to time, I have to make an assessment, either by weekly or monthly, to ensure that the breast is in accurate order.
If breast cancer gets severe, it can lead to surgical removal of the breast. It spreads too. And I think I heard wearing tight bras cause it too. I'm not sure of that.
And that person needs, the breast of that person needs to be cut off so that the person may live. It's 50-50.
Like when I was a core member, we were told that once in a while, at least once in a month, you lift your breast up to know if there is a lump or not. And if you feel a lump, you should report the case immediately to the medical doctor.
Normal changes, skin discoloration, something they call pudorant, when the skin of the breast starts looking like the back of an orange. Then you can report earlier, and especially if women who have had female relative who have died of breast cancer.
According to consultant radiologists, advancements in medicine that can aid early detection and treatment.
Not all the time does it come up with lumps. So mammogram can detect even the tiny things called calcifications. When you see on a mammogram abnormal calcifications, pleomorphic, different sizes and shapes of calcification, is a pointer. So it's important when once you're up to the age of 40, you should do a mammogram. But for those that have family history, mammogram is recommended maybe from age of 35, because that person is high risk, and especially if the mother had breast cancer or the sister.
Regular self-breast examination may just be the answer in detecting breast cancer early, and these doctors say may improve treatment. In Uyo, Edidi Ongiba, NTA News.
Meanwhile, health experts have advised nursing mothers to practice exclusive breastfeeding as it helps to build the immune system of babies, preventing them from long-term and short-term illnesses and diseases. Then Abasene Fiog in the special report tells us more on benefits of breastfeeding.
Breastfeeding is well established as the best source of infant nutrition, with benefits including increased immunity, higher cognition, and lower risk of infant mortality. Over time, nursing mothers have also affirmed that breastfeeding is less expensive and easy to administer to the infant. Some breastfeeding mothers have also shared their opinions on breastfeeding.
It helps in bonding, and it helps in early involution of the uterus, that is for the uterus to return back to the normal position. It also saves the mother from risks of cancers like breast cancers and the rest. And for the baby, the immunity the baby needs all is in the breast milk.
It does not allow them to fall sick easily, but lower the cost of buying milk. Instead of buying milk for her, I buy food for myself while she sucks. And also, it makes them to be healthy.
Brain development, yeah. So the baby will never have there's loss of memory.
Make him to be healthy.
It helps the baby to grow, and then it also helps the mother. Like me, I believe it helps me burn fats.
Various myths associated with breastfeeding has also affected social behavior towards breastfeeding.
The mother will complain of stomach pain. That is the disadvantages of exclusive breastfeeding. You will come back here within 2 weeks of age. Oh, my baby is screaming. My baby is vomiting because of that thin food that you give the baby. So if the mother breastfeed the baby exclusively without water, without thin food, it will not come back within that 2 weeks of age. At least it would hold that baby for 6 months without sickness.
Family and caregiver support is also advised for successful infant breastfeeding. In Uyo, Ndianabasi Enefiok, NTA News.
To end the news, another quick look at the major stories. Counsel to Oro, Anang and Obolo traditional rulers alleged that state attorneys scuttled out of court settlement agreements. State Commandant NSCDC has promised robust partnership with NTA Uyo. You also heard in the news that Nigerian Institution of Safety Engineers has ended their 8th annual general meeting with a dinner in conferment of fellowship to deserving members. Thanks for sharing your time with us. Do remember that for you to be a star, you have to join NTA's campaign to stand against rape and rapists. Have a good day. Emedi Omo is standing by for the news translation. Yariwar inyimeke arisio ikpe keso. Ikamba woke ufo utum ka ukbeme Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps enwa odina mutomye ufo utum soletop NTA uyo. Nkai koto Nigerian Institution of Safety Engineers benedonam ammo ekesum utop. Ukanyin miko mo anyang mero emerio mo kamanto mbo ubawo senemi. Nka ekoto Nigerian Institution of Safety Engineers benedonam ikbere ita ekesum utop. Eboke akpatre adonam akeralite ke Villa Hilton Hotel kuyo ya ikobo yogombo mito kombongo.
Keke neke ubuno mkpommo ke rika ison nam ubiang utommo nyonka ison nengam kpombono kendo tom engineering yerino ukpeme kendara utum ukara irunyan mba mkpo arita ufong with amme engineers eriyongo kente the Nigerian Institution of Safety Engineers asokosne ano nka amme Nigerian Society of Engineers emaitum arinam ammo yogo ikpage ita keribo mukpe mkpo nyong mek ufa mbono wundong kenkado yerino mbono wo me eno ukpono yang wet itoro akpatrusen narinam usenitami akure ribendara unen ammo ekeni yaga keritum marinamado akambati woro pokoro kufong weredo kaninyene kong kemme komo amabo kembono do anekero takpan mpo erinam anwa mame engineers kerikan diongo usong ukpeme siadogo ukpeme ado pa mkpo kutum mme engineers manatoro erikani no eti iborutum ufambone kemekente ndiana ammo ekoto fellows ematanga ibokendo tomedo ayaino mmimo ufangyo yogo isong tak erinam mkpo kubono mkpo yendutum mme engineers akpan kpo ekenama kerinamado akedo umegewo ubo ngongo nsoriwot koro erino mbonowo mme eno ukpono mikuyo Uwemedimo Samson Okombok NTA.
Ikamba wo ke ufo utum Federal Road Safety Corps ete Matthew Olonishaye ano mbono witem abo yakammo ekpeme nanga warusong panakpan usere mba unom yakikobo yakambo mito komo.
Nangan tefyong mba amari oyogo nanga aseragado nko usoro yembono aneke wake state ami yekemme state mfen nangan tembon uwarusong enyongo enamubiong utimmo keri wana kok nko mbono kaisang korome wonda isowu ebo kemminintum ado takpan ini ibegake mmimo keri kanbo kimino idemmo oyogo ukbeme nko keri kanbo kemoto ada ka yogondaga mfon manatoro usongisang arifon nko unomo ibaga akpanakpan kiragantum yekini afyong mba ama kuwenge usong bonowo ema tangabo yakukara enwam kiri kanbo ke sugonyen ese me drivers ese ke wat anyano songisang manatoro arinwam bonowo arai woru fogutum Federal Road Safety Corps Matthew Olonishaye ama bonko kubyong utum mimo arerine ken sugonyen nsem waramoto nofon afrini mini nangante iswa akagari kwenge ufogutum Federal Road Safety Corps ebo kem mimo imira ikbariba kerika iso no mbonowo ukpe mpoke bangake usong erikpe mirem man adikpan unomo kusong isang mikuyo Uwemedimo Samson Okombok NTA.
Ukangin tembongin atrero ubaw sanani titundubi etieso.